What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Conversation Station. This episode, I'm going to call it, Where's Batman? Because with Supergirl coming out, and honestly, seeing the reaction to Supergirl, which wasn't amazing, was one I can probably wait for streaming. I don't usually feel that way about the superhero movies, but this definitely seems like a filler movie. And that's not a problem, there has to be filler movies in order to, to get from one to the next. Something just to, keep the studios happy. But this, from the the way people are talking about it, from the clips that I did see, I kind of think I'm gonna wait for streaming on this one. Now that being said, I like Supergirl. I love the idea of a woman and girl-led superhero movie, but with the way that the reactions coming from both guys and girls, you kind of see that this one may just be one that, unless you are a super fan of Supergirl specifically, this might be one you can just wait for. And it doesn't make you any less of a fan of the superhero stuff. Now let's get back to Batman. Now, while Batman isn't technically in the DCU yet, Batman fans are absolutely getting fed with plenty of stuff from him. Batman Part 2 got a couple of pictures shared, and that shows I think it was a Batman symbol in the snow. And I think somebody asked Matt Reeves if Batman was going to get some in the snow shots, and he said that he is. So people were super excited for that. So we're getting a animated Batman Nightfall movie. And Nightfall, I wasn't even really aware of it until I bought 2 of the comics. And, learning about this story and everything is pretty crazy, so getting to see it put into a cartoon is pretty awesome. The person playing Batman is actually Anson Mount, who played Black Bolt in Doctor Strange and the Inhumans. And Michael Mando, who's playing Scorpion in the new Spider-Man Brand New Day, is playing Bane. So really cool cast. Also, the guy who played Polka Dot Man is playing the Riddler. If you don't know who that is, I forget his name. It leaves me right now. But yeah, that guy's playing the Riddler. So really cool cast, and honestly, that's just what's been announced, so there could be more people added. From what I've read from just these 2 comics, Nightfall revolves around the story of Bruce getting his back broken, and this guy named Jean-Paul taking over the mantle of the Batman, and Robin having problems with this Jean-Paul guy. The Jean-Paul guy's kind of crazy and doing things his own way. But it's a really great, the 2 that I have, honestly I thought I had more, but the 2 that I have are really good. I definitely want to get more to this run. But it's cool to be able to see it in animated form and get pieces of the story like that. Another animated series is also happening, which people are super excited about because this comic run has just been, I've seen nothing but good things said about it. We're getting an Absolute Batman animated series, and that's actually happening with Scott Snyder as the showrunner and Nick Dragotta as the producer. So it's going to be perfect. There's no way they can, deviate from anything. I think it's going to be awesome. Just more for Batman fans, you gotta love seeing more of them. Absolute Batman has just been on a crazy run, so I'm really glad that it's getting a show. But like I said, Batman fans are just getting so much stuff. We're also getting a Clayface movie soon this year. I've heard little comments and people saying that there's a chance we might see a silhouette of the DCU Batman in Clayface, but it's probably just going to be a silhouette with like a, really, really shadowy suit so we can't see what it is, just like they did in Creature Commandos. Another question I've been asking is, who is going to be the DCU Batman? A lot of people are asking it. Some people think Robert Pattinson will eventually be, folded into it, even though James Gunn said that's not going to be the case. As we get farther, and I watched the Superman movie, over again a couple of times, honestly, I feel like there's a chance that Robert Pattinson's Batman may come to be the Batman for this Superman. Because honestly, they are kind of the same in age as far as that goes, and where they are in their careers are kind of the same. So it wouldn't be completely out of the realm of possibility to bring that together. Now, whether James Gunn will go that route or not, don't know. My only comment is they need to hurry up and build the Justice League. They really do. There's just too much story with, the Justice League. And I understand their story with the individual characters, but that's what people are hoping to see.
What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
We're hoping to see a Justice League come together. And it needs to look like it's coming together as well. I think that just would get people more excited to come back for these DC movies. To see something being built in pieces, just like we did with Marvel. I think it would really, really bring people to see it and to be able to connect all those dots and to see it when he finally arrives on the screen would just be super awesome. But back to what I was saying, that those 2 movies, I said before that the Superman movie and the Batman movie are so different that Robert Pattinson's Batman exists in sort of a realistic Gotham. There's a real, it doesn't seem to be a lot of magic and comic book stuff, even though it's a very comic book movie. It's more set in a gritty, dark, real reality style world. And Clark's just more of a puffy, cloudy, almost heaven-like. When you see Metropolis, the light and the way things look, it's almost animated, and with the colors and things like that and the way they pop. So it's like they're so parallel to each other. But honestly, I think that's what would thinking about it now, that's what would make it work with Superman being from Metropolis, because that's always been kind of the thing. It's like heaven and hell. Metropolis is really sunny and bright and colorful, and Gotham is just not really so much that. But my question is would he fit? Could you see Robert Pattinson's Batman being folded into and seeing him up on a rooftop standing next to Cornswell's Superman? Could you see that? Is that something that you would be okay with, or do you need a new Batman? Somebody, preferably, I would want to see somebody new, somebody different, because I think Pattinson deserves to go on his own tangent and explore his own enemies and, just be Batman. But again, if they're able to get this new actor in there, I want somebody that looks kind of like Absolute Batman. I need a big guy. That's why a lot of people have been wanting like Alan Rickson to play Batman. It's like, yeah, I mean, he'd make a damn good Aquaman, but as he did before in Smallville, but I think he'd play an excellent Batman. The only thing I kind of have trouble with is the hair. He has blonde hair, and I don't know if dyeing his hair black would really do him justice. Maybe he has dyed it black and I just haven't seen it, but I don't know. Him with black hair kind of would throw it off, and I don't think Bruce Wayne ever had blonde hair, so I don't know how that would work. But I think that's the only thing kind of holding him back. But he's the type of body type that I hope we have to play Batman. Someone who really is just a big guy who's kind of imposing because he's just a human who stands among these superhero godlike people. This brings us to that. It's like they need to hurry up. And who is it going to be? All these silhouettes is just kind of, bait and switch. Hopefully we get a real Batman before the end of this year. And I'm hoping by next year we really do start to see some semblance of, a Justice League come together. Or just anything of a team start to come together out of this DC. Because unfortunately I feel like they're just getting a slow start. Supergirl's a filler. All of these superhero movie franchises have filler movies. Marvel has plenty of them. They have movies and shows that are just straight filler. So honestly, this is nothing to be feel bad about. It's understandable. It's kind of one of those just part of the process things. I think Superman Man of Tomorrow will do extremely well, and any references they have to Supergirl, it'll just be cool for anybody who did see Supergirl. But overall, where do you expect to see Batman show up? Do you expect him to get his own movie before he joins Superman, or do you expect him just to kind of pop into the universe? And who would you like to see play Batman? Is there anybody specific, or would you like to be surprised by somebody kind of new, fresher face, and just have somebody different play the Batman? Me personally, like I said, I would like somebody new, like it not to be Pattinson, but I could totally see how they could fold those two worlds together just to kind of streamline it. Hopefully we get some news soon, and I haven't even heard anything about Batman Brave and the Bold. But I'm really excited to see him. Would love to know what you think. If you could leave it down in the comments, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you, and I hope to see you again.